Hi everyone, this is Reema, your biology educator from V-Learning. So as you know that V-Learning is an online educational platform where we provide quality education for all. So to get all the benefits from our channel, do subscribe to it, and also don't forget to visit our website, that is www.v-learning.in, where you will be getting all the pre-recorded videos, the live classes, animated videos, and also the PDF notes of all these topics. So let's begin today's session. So what we are going to learn in our previous class, you have learned about the macronutrients and the micronutrients, right? And we have started your chapter number 12, which deals with the mineral nutrition in plants. You know that each and every living organism requires minerals, requires nutrition for the growth and survival, right? Similarly, plants also require various nutrients. So you have seen that the various macronutrients like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, isn't it? So there are 17 essential nutrients which are necessary for the plant. So some are macronutrients, some are micronutrients, and also you have seen that what will happen if these nutrients are not provided to the plant at an adequate amount, then the plant will be suffering from the deficiency diseases, isn't it? So next topic we are going to learn today is the nitrogen cycle. Okay, nitrogen cycle, how the nitrogen is being cycled in the atmosphere and the living organism, and you will learn about the biological nitrogen fixation. So this is your part 2. Let's begin today's class. Yes. Now, what is this nitrogen cycle? You have learned about water cycle, right? How the water is being cycled in the atmosphere. Now, what is this nitrogen cycle? The nitrogen cycle is nothing but it is a cyclic event where the nitrogen is being circulated between the atmosphere and the living organism. Okay, so it is a cyclic event where the nitrogen is cycled between the atmosphere and the living organism. So what is this nitrogen cycle? Nitrogen cycle, it is basically, it is a cyclic event in which nitrogen is cycled between atmosphere and living organism. Now see how atmosphere and living organism, because in the atmosphere the nitrogen is also produced, right? The nitrogen is present in the air, is a mixture of gases, right? Air is a mixture of gases, and the percentage of nitrogen present in the air is 78%, right? So the atmospheric nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere is 78%. Okay, so during the time of lightning, that is the UV rays, okay, then forest fire, nitrogen are also being produced. Okay, but this nitrogen are not enough. Okay, the majority of the nitrogen is being produced by the bacteria, okay, by the prokaryotes. So there are some prokaryotes which has the ability to produce nitrogen. Okay, so the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, okay, nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, it cannot be used by the plant. Okay, so the nitrogen, it cannot be used by the plant. It need to be converted to ammonia. Okay, it need to be converted to ammonia. So plants cannot use this nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere. It needs to be converted into ammonia. Okay, so that is known as what? That is known as nitrogen fixation. The conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is known as what? Is known as nitrogen fixation, right? So the nitrogen is converted into ammonia, and the process of conversion of nitrogen into ammonia is called as nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen Fixation. Now, there are some bacteria, as I said that there are some bacteria, they are responsible for producing major amount of nitrogen. Okay, so who is responsible for producing majority of the nitrogen? Majority of the nitrogen is being produced by the bacteria. Okay, so some of the bacteria which they live in they are free living or they can be symbiotic. Okay, so this bacteria has got one enzyme, that is nitrogenase. Okay, that is nitrogenase. With the help of this enzyme, the bacteria can convert the nitrogen. Okay, the bacteria can convert the nitrogen into ammonia. Clear? So this is how the nitrogen fixation is being done by the bacteria and from the atmosphere. The nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, it cannot be directly used by the plant. Okay, it need to be converted to ammonia. All right. So for that process, it requires huge energy. Okay, the breakdown of the nitrogen bonds requires huge energy, and nitrogen is one of the essential element which is required by all living organisms. Okay, so it is necessary for the formation of what, for the protein, then amino acid. Okay, nitrogen is very much essential element. Okay. So yes, all the living organisms like plants, microorganisms, and then animals, everyone needs nitrogen. So there is a competition for the nitrogen or not. So who is preparing that nitrogen? The nitrogen we get it, the nitrogen we get it from the plants. Okay, from the plants. The plants are able to uptake the nitrogen from the soil, and we human beings, we consume what? We consume the plants, isn't it? So we are getting the nitrogen from the plants, and plant is uptaking the nitrogen from the soil, and nitrogen is prepared by what? Majority of nitrogen is prepared by the bacteria. Okay, by the bacteria. So yes, next, nitrogen is a constituent of amino acid. So it is what? It is a constituent of amino acid, protein, hormones, chlorophyll, and many of the vitamins. Okay. So plants compete with microbes for the limited nitrogen that is available in the soil. Thus nitrogen is a limiting nutrient for the natural and agricultural ecosystem. So in the soil there are some bacteria also, isn't it? This is a plant. Okay, this plant also need nitrogen. Bacteria also need nitrogen, right? So bacteria also need nitrogen. Okay, plant also need nitrogen. So there is a competition for the what? For the nitrogen. Okay, there is a competition arises for the nitrogen. Okay, the bacteria also requires nitrogen, the plant also requires nitrogen. So there is a competition arises for the nitrogen. So yes, so the microbes, they need nitrogen for the survival, right? The nitrogen exists as two nitrogen atoms joined by very strong triple covalent bond. So you can see this is how the nitrogen is existing as two nitrogen atom, and it is joined by a triple bond, right? So to break this bond and to convert the nitrogen into ammonia, it requires huge energy. Clear? Next, let us see the nitrogen cycle. Now see here, this is the atmosphere. Okay, so this is the atmosphere. Now here is a plant. This is a plant. This plant, it requires nitrogen. Okay, it requires what? It requires nitrogen. So from the atmosphere, the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, okay, and to nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, it needs to be converted into ammonia. Okay, NH3. Okay, it needs to be converted into ammonia. All right, ammonia. So the conversion of the nitrogen into ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. Now this ammonia, it is further converted into nitrite, NO2 minus nitrite, and nitrate. Okay, nitrate, okay, with the help of what? With the help of bacteria. Here some bacteria, okay, this bacteria, it will be converting the ammonia, okay, here also some bacteria will be converting the nitrite, okay, NO2 is nitrite and O3 minus is nitrate, okay. So this ammonia need to be converted into nitrate, okay. So the conversion of ammonia to nitrate with the help of bacteria is known as nitrification, So now this nitrate will be taken up by the plants, okay. Now this nitrate can be taken up by the plants. This can be taken up by the plants, okay. Plants can take this nitrate. Is that clear? Now, what happens here is, again, in the soil, whenever any living organisms, they die, okay. For example, a cow, a dog, it's died, right? So the organic matter of that dead, decayed organic matter will be mixing to the soil, right? So this is the soil, isn't it? So the dead and the decayed organic matter will be mixing to the soil, right? So it is a dead matter, okay. Now this dead organic matter, it will be mixing with the soil and it will be converted back into ammonia, okay. So the dead and the decomposed organic material which died in the soil, it will be again converted back into ammonia. Clear? So this also will be again converted into ammonia, and this ammonia can again be converted into nitrate and the plant can use it. All right. So this is how it is being cycled, and the conversion of this process is known as what? It is known as ammonification, okay. The conversion of the that is nitrogen to ammonia, this process is known as what? It is known as ammonification. This is known as ammonification. The conversion of this nitrate back to ammonia is known as nitrification. So see here, again this nitrate will be converted back into nitrogen, okay. There are some bacteria which converts the nitrate into nitrogen. That is known as what? Denitrification. Is that clear? So three things happen here. What is the three things? Ammonification, that is ammonification. Here what happens is nitrification. This is known as nitrification, the conversion of the ammonia to nitrate, okay. The conversion of ammonia to nitrate is known as nitrification, okay. So see here, okay. Now see, decomposition of organic nitrogen, that is dead plants and animals, into ammonia is called ammonification. So the decomposed dead plant, okay, here the dead matter, that is it may be plant or it may be animal, okay. So decomposition of the dead matter into ammonia is known as ammonification. So this ammonification is also done by the bacteria. These are done by the bacteria. Nitrification is also done by the bacteria. There are different bacteria which is responsible for ammonification and nitrification. And nitrate is again being converted into nitrogen. That is known as denitrification. Is that clear? So see, now what are the bacteria? You have seen that that is ammonia, right? And NH, yes. The ammonia, right, NH3 is converted into nitrite and nitrate. Nitrite is converted into nitrate. So this process is called as nitrification. Nitrification. Now what is this nitrification? Nitrification is nothing but the conversion of ammonia to nitrate. Conversion of ammonia to nitrate. So here the bacteria which is involved is the conversion of the ammonia to nitrite is being done by the bacteria. That is, okay, the bacteria involved here is Nitrosomonas Nitrosomonas, okay, and Nitrococcus. These are the bacteria which is responsible for conversion of ammonia to nitrite. All right. So Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus is responsible for conversion of the ammonia to nitrite, and here nitrite is being further converted into nitrate with the help of nitrobacter. So conversion of nitrite to nitrate. All right. So this process is known as nitrification. So these are the steps which we called as nitrification. Now, what is this ammonification? Now, the dead and the decayed plant or animal, let's say, dead plant or animal, it will be containing what? It will be containing nitrogen, right? It will be containing nitrogen. Now, the conversion of this into ammonia, NH3, conversion of the nitrogen from the dead and decayed body of plant and animal is known as ammonification. Right? So this is done by a bacteria. They are known as chemoautotrophs. Now what are these? Okay, chemoautotrophs. Okay. Now, what are these chemoautotrophs? These are the bacteria, okay? These are the bacteria which can survive on the inorganic matter, okay? So, these are the bacteria which will break the inorganic substances and will use it as energy. Clear? So, these are the bacteria which survives on the inorganic substance, okay? And break them and use them in the form of energy. Now one more thing is left, right? That is denitrification. Number 1 we have studied is nitrification. Number 2, here we have seen ammonification. Then number 3, what is left is denitrification, right? Denitrification. Now, what is this denitrification? What happens in denitrification? So, see here, the nitrate is converted into nitrogen. The conversion of nitrate into nitrogen, the conversion of nitrate, this is nitrate, and it is converted into nitrogen. That process is known as what? That is known as denitrification. Clear? Denitrification is nothing but the conversion of nitrate into nitrogen. Conversion of nitrate into nitrogen is known as what? Is known as denitrification. So it is done by a bacteria, that is Pseudomonas, okay? Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus, right? So these two bacteria are responsible for the process of denitrification. So these are the three things, that is nitrification, ammonification and denitrification, which is taking place during the nitrogen cycle. Is that clear? Now see what happens here. You can see, right, in this cycle, this nitrogen is coming from the atmosphere, right? It is coming from the atmosphere, isn't it? It comes from the atmosphere. Now this is in the form of ammonia, so it needs to be broken down, right? So now in the form of nitrate, that is NO3, form of nitrate, the plant can take the nitrogen only in the form of nitrate. Okay, so this nitrate is being taken up by the plant. The plant is taking this nitrogen in the form of nitrate, and this nitrate again, it is being what? It is being converted into nitrogen, right? It is being converted into nitrogen. That is what? That is a cyclic event going on, isn't it? This is a cyclic event going on. So this is known as what? This is known as nitrogen fixation. So as you can see here in the picture, that atmospheric nitrogen, so from the biological nitrogen fixation, okay, that is bacteria, from the industries also nitrogen gases are being released, right? Then electrical fixation, okay, then here you can see that the nitrogen, right, the nitrogen needs to be converted into ammonia, right? Then the plant cannot take this ammonia, right? So it needs to be converted into NO3 minus, that is nitrate. So this nitrate is being taken up by the plant. So the plant takes this, right? And here the animal, that is the dead body, will be there, right? Dead body of plants and animals also will be there in the soil, right? So they also need what? They also need this nitrogen, isn't it? So from here, yeah, not here. So here, okay, yes, here various bacteria will be there, okay, various bacteria will be there in the soil, right? The bacteria also needs what? The bacteria also needs nitrogen, right? Animal also needs nitrogen, isn't it? So that is the animal, when it dies, either the plant or the animal dead body, right? So the biomass contains nitrogen, right? The dead body of the plant or animal will be containing nitrogen. This is being converted into what? This is being again converted into ammonia, right? This is converted into ammonia. The nitrogen is converted into ammonia. That is called as ammonification, right? So this, yeah, here you can see, right, that is called as ammonification. And again, this nitrate is being sent back to the atmosphere, right? That is what? That is denitrification. Clear? Yes, this is the nitrogen cycle, all right? So let's see, in nature, okay, lightning and ultraviolet radiation provide enough energy to convert nitrogen into nitrogen oxides, okay? So during the time of lightning, okay, during the time of that is ultraviolet radiation, they provide energy, okay, to convert the nitrogen into various nitrogen oxides, okay? Now, industrial combustions, forest fire, automobile exhausts and power generating stations also are the source of atmospheric nitrogen oxides. So what are the various sources of nitrogen? What are the various sources of nitrogen oxides? Like lightning, okay, lightning, right? Then UV rays, then industries, right? Then forest fire, right? These are the various sources of what? These are the various sources of nitrogen oxides, okay? These are the various sources of nitrogen oxides, right? So yes, atmospheric nitrogen oxides. So now see what happens. Deposition of the organic nitrogen of dead plants and animals into ammonia. As I said, right, when the dead plants or any other animal, it die in the soil, right, that nitrogen will be used up by the plant again, okay? So that needs to be converted into what? That needs to be converted into nitrate, right? So the deposition of the nitrogen component, what is present in the plant or animal, into ammonia is called as ammonification, right? Is called as ammonification. Now some of this ammonia volatiles and re-enters the atmosphere, but most of it is converted into nitrate by soil bacteria, okay? Some of the ammonia, it cannot be converted, okay? So but some can be converted, okay, by the bacteria, that is in the form of nitrate. Clear? Yes. Now, what happened in that case? Ammonification. Ammonia is first oxidized to nitrite by the bacteria Nitrosomonas. This is the same what we have studied here, okay? Ammonia is first oxidized to what? Ammonia is first oxidized to nitrate, okay? So see, this is ammonia, right? This is nitrate and this is nitrite. So ammonia is first oxidized into nitrate by these two bacteria, that is Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus. Okay, these two bacteria, it first what oxidize, then what happens further, the nitrite is further oxidized, converted into nitrate, okay, into nitrate by this nitrobacter. Is that clear how ammonia is converted? Okay, so see, next, the nitrite is further oxidized to nitrate by the help of the bacteria Nitrobacter, right? Yes, these steps are called nitrification. So what is this step called? We have learned here, right? This step is called as what? This step is called as nitrification. This step is called as nitrification, right? Yes. So next, see, the nitrate thus formed is absorbed by the plants and transported to the leaves. So the nitrate will be absorbed. Now from here, the nitrate, okay, the nitrate will be absorbed by the plant and it will be transported to the leaves or to the various parts, okay, to the various parts of the plant. In leaves, it is reduced to form ammonia that finally forms the amine group of amino acid. So what happened in leaves? It goes there and it forms amino group, okay. So here it will form amino acid in the leaves, okay. Where? In the leaves, right? Yes. Next, what happens? The nitrate present in the soil is also reduced to nitrogen by the process of denitrification. So here you have seen that nitrate which is present which is present here, right? The nitrate which will be present here in the soil, the nitrate is present here in the soil, right? This nitrate is again converted back into nitrogen by the process of denitrification. Is that clear? Yes. So see here, what happens is, yes, so it is further converted and the bacteria which is involved, we have seen that Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus, right? So here we have seen, right, in the denitrification, two bacteria, one is Pseudomonas and another one is Thiobacillus. In case of chemoautotrophs, in case of ammonification, the chemoautotrophs are involved, okay? They can break the inorganic substances and obtain the energy, right? Next, see, let us understand the biological nitrogen fixation. So what is this biological nitrogen fixation? Now this biological nitrogen fixation, it is done by what? It is done by the bacteria, okay? Fixation of nitrogen with the help of bacteria is called as biological nitrogen fixation. What is biological nitrogen fixation? Fixation of nitrogen with the help of bacteria is called nitrogen fixation. Is called nitrogen fixation. Clear? Now here bacteria is involved in fixing the nitrogen, okay? So some of the bacteria are free living bacteria, okay? Some of the bacteria are free living bacteria, whereas some bacteria are symbiotic, bacteria, okay? So free living bacteria. So what does it mean? These are the bacteria which lives freely in the soil, okay? They are not in association with the plant, but symbiotic means they are in association with the plant. They live in mutual understanding, okay? That is plant, that is, it will be helping the plant, okay? That is, the bacteria will help the plant in fixing the nitrogen, okay? It will provide nitrogen to the plant, whereas what happens? The plant should give food to the bacteria, right? So free living bacteria are again divided into two types. Some are aerobic, some are anaerobic. All right. Some of the bacteria requires oxygen for the nitrogen fixation, whereas some they do not need oxygen. They can survive without oxygen. Okay. Yes. Now next, the symbiotic bacteria, they are also divided into two types. Okay. So some are what? They are symbiotic with leguminous plants, whereas some bacteria, they are not symbiotic with leguminous plants, okay. Now see what happens. Symbiotic means you know that they will be in mutual relationship with one another. Okay, so they are dependent on one another. So here, if this is a plant, okay, these are the roots of the plant. So here the bacteria will be present. Okay, these are the bacteria which will help the plant to get what? Which will help the plant to uptake nitrogen. In return, the plant should give food. The plant should give food to this bacteria. Clear? So that is symbiotic. But here free living means they are the bacteria which are living freely in the soil. Okay, they are not helping the plant. They are only, what happens is they are only breaking the ammonia. Okay, they are only breaking the ammonia into what? Into nitrate. Okay, they are only breaking the ammonia into nitrate. They are not helping the plant. Okay, so plant can take it from the soil, but they are not in a symbiotic relationship. All right, so what are the various aerobic bacteria? Okay, what are the various aerobic bacteria? The various aerobic bacteria are Azotobacter and okay, Azotobacter and Beijarnik. Okay, Beijarnikia. Okay, Azotobacter and Beijarnikia. Okay, Beijarnikia. Okay, correct. So next, what are they? Are also what? They are also some blue-green algae. Okay, there are some blue-green algae also. Okay, Algae. There are some blue-green algae also. Okay, like Annabena, then nostoc. These are also aerobic bacteria, okay, which are present in the soil. Okay, these are free living bacteria. Now, what are the anaerobic bacteria? That is, anaerobic bacteria is Rhodospirillum. So, the Rhodospirillum is an anaerobic bacteria. It does not require oxygen, whereas this require oxygen. Okay, so Rhodospirillum is an anaerobic bacteria which is freely living in the soil. Okay, now symbiotic with leguminous plants. What do you mean by the leguminous plants? Like the pea, right? The gram. These are all the leguminous plants. So in that case, like the bacteria, that is rhizobium. Okay, the rhizobium can form root nodules. This rhizobium can form root nodules with these plants. Okay, and it can help the plant in uptake of nitrogen. Okay, rhizobium. So here non-symbiotic leguminous plant bacteria is Frankia. Okay, so yes, leguminous plants means what? Like pea, okay, then gram, okay. So these are all the leguminous plants. Okay, now see, clear with this? Okay, now let's move. So see, yeah, very few living organisms can utilize nitrogen to form what? yes, to form and to available abundantly in the air. Okay, so only very few prokaryotes can use this and it can form nitrogen. Okay, only certain prokaryotic species are capable to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, then reduction of nitrogen to ammonia by living organism is called as nitrogen fixation, which we have seen that conversion of nitrogen into ammonia with the help of bacteria is nitrogen fixation. Biological nitrogen fixation. So the enzyme, so as we have discussed, one of the important enzyme, okay, the important enzyme, what is the name of the enzyme? Nitrogenase. Okay, nitrogenase is an enzyme which is responsible for converting the nitrogen into ammonia. Okay, so it is capable of reducing the nitrogen into ammonia into nitrogen. Okay, so such microbes are called as N2 fixers. Okay, so the nitrogen fixing microbes could be free living or symbiotic. You have seen, right? It can be free living or symbiotic. Examples of free living are Azotobacter, Beijernichia, Rhodospirillum. Okay, so Bacillus, these are all free living. Okay, so we have seen here, right? We have seen here in this slide. Okay, these are the free living bacteria. Okay, Bacillus is also a free living bacteria. All right. Next, in addition, number of cyanobacteria such as Anaerobic, Nostoc, okay, these are also free living nitrogen fixers. Okay, here what are the various bacteria? Azotobacter, Beijernichia, Anaerobic, Nostoc, Rhodospirillum, and even Bacillus also. Okay, and even Bacillus also, these are the free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. Next, several types of symbiotic biological nitrogen fixing association are also known, that is symbiotic bacteria. Okay, Rhizobium. Okay, so these are all Frankia, these are all symbiotic bacteria. The most prominent is the legume bacteria relationship. Okay, that is the relationship of the plant with the that is the relationship of the leguminous plants with the bacteria. Okay, so species of rod shaped Rhizobium has a relationship with the roots of several legumes. Okay, so such as alfalfa, sweet cloves, okay, lentils, garden pea, okay, clover, these are all what? These are all leguminous plants. Okay, these are all leguminous plants. So the bacteria live in association with these plants by forming root nodules. So the most common association is root is a nodule, right? They form what? They form root nodules. So just if you uptake this plant, you will see that in the roots, the root nodules you will find. Okay, uptake those plants and in the roots you will find the root nodules. Yes, these nodules are small outgrowth on the roots. Okay, like this. If this is the root, this is the root. Okay, these are the roots. So here small outgrowths you will find. Okay, small outgrowths you will find in the roots. These are the root nodules. These are the root nodules. So these nodules are the small outgrowth which you find in the roots. Okay, so they are responsible for fixing what? Fixing nitrogen. Okay, of and non-leguminous plant is alnus. Okay, non-leguminous plant is alnus or Frankia. So both Rhizobium and Frankia are free living in soil, but as symbionts can fix atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, so they have that capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen by being in symbiotic relationship with plant. Okay, Rhizobium and Frankia, they be in relationship with the plant, and what they do, they fix the atmospheric nitrogen. So nodules are what? Nodules are spherical outgrowths on the roots. Okay, so they are what? They are spherical outgrowths. They are spherical outgrowths in the roots. Okay, like this. These are root nodules. Okay, you will find them in the roots. Okay, next, they are pink color. What is the color? They are pink color. Why it is pink in color? Because of the presence of leg hemoglobin. Okay, because of the presence of hemoglobin or leg hemoglobin. So what is the color of nodule? It is pink. Why it is pink in color? Because of the presence of hemoglobin, right? Because of the presence of what? Hemoglobin, or like hemoglobin. Hemoglobin or leg hemoglobin. All right, it is pink in color because of the presence of leg hemoglobin. Now, nodule formation involves a sequence of multiple interactions between rhizobium and the roots of the host plant. So, for the formation of the nodules, okay, the plant needs to have an interaction with the bacteria. Okay, now let us see how the nodule is being formed in the plant. What are the various steps involved? So, see, yes, so this is a plant. This is a plant, okay. So this plant is having roots, right? This plant is having roots. So here is the bacteria, okay. Here, this is the bacteria, which is the rhizobium, right? And these are what? These are the root hairs. These are the root hairs, okay. Now, these are the root hairs. So, the bacteria should go and bind with the root hairs. So, there should be association, there should be interaction between the bacteria and the plant. So, the plant release some chemicals, okay. The plant release some chemicals because of which the bacteria will go and bind with the plant. Clear? Because of which the bacteria will go and bind with the plant. So, when it goes and it binds to the roots, what happens? The root, it curls, okay. Curl. So, the root hair, what happens? The root hair curls, okay. So, here what happens now? The bacteria, it binded to the roots and the curling of the root hair is being seen. So, this thread is known as infection thread, okay. This thread is known as infection thread. All right, okay. Now next, what happens? Now this will go inside, right? So you know that inside the roots, right? Inside the root, what is the structure of the root here? You have studied inside the root here. What we find? Epidermis, right? Then after the epidermis, cortex is present, right? Then endodermis, then pericycle. All these layers are present, isn't it? In roots. So it will go where? It will go to the. So it will go, all the bacteria will be going to the cortex and the pericycle. So it will go to the cortex and pericycle. It will go to the cortex and pericycle. After going there, what happens? It will start dividing, okay. It will start, that is cell division. Now the plant cell is being infected, okay. So the cell starts dividing, okay. Cell division takes place, okay. The bacteria, it goes and enters into the cortex and the pericycle, because of which cell division is taking place. And when the cell divides, more number of cells will be formed, okay. Multiple cells will be formed here. So here what happens? Multiple cells will be formed. So which will lead to the formation of what? Which will lead to the formation of tumor, okay. Which will lead to the formation of tumor, and these are known as what? These are known as nodule. These are known as what? Nodule. Is that clear? This is the process how the nodule formation is taking place in case of the plant. So yes, steps involved here. As you can see, this is the picture. So these are the root hair, right? This is the bacteria. These are the bacteria. Okay, bacteria is going and attaching to the root hair, then curling of the root hair takes place. This is called as hook. Okay, here all the bacteria, it is attacking the roots, root hair. So through the root hair, it is going inside. Okay, it goes inside to the cortex through the infection thread. This thread is known as what? Infection thread. Okay, through the infection thread, it is going inside and it is attacking the inner cortex and the pericycle, and the cells are continuously divided dividing there, right? So now after this, it will form a tumor like structure that is known as what? That is known as mature nodule. Is that clear? So these are the steps which are involved in the formation of what? Which are involved in the formation of nodule in plants, okay, in symbiotic plants. So see here, what happens is, these are the steps, you can write it down. Rhizobia multiply and colonize the surroundings of roots and attach to the epidermal and the root hairs, okay. So the rhizobia continuously multiply and attach to the root hairs. So next, the root hairs curl, right, and the bacteria invade the root hair and the infection thread is produced, carrying the bacteria into the cortex of the roots, then the pericycle, right, and then the nodule formation starts in the cortex of the root. So then the bacteria are released from the thread to the cells and differentiate, and what happens, which leads to the differentiation of the specialized nitrogen fixing cells. The nodule thus forms establish a direct vascular connection with the host, and the exchange of nutrients takes place, okay. So now, so this nodule, it can form what? It is responsible for nitrogen fixation, okay. So there is a direct connection, okay. It forms a direct connection with the plant, okay. It forms a direct connection with the plant and the bacteria, okay, for the process of nitrogen fixation. So yes, now what is this leg hemoglobin? You have understood now what are the various processes involved. Now what is this leg hemoglobin? You know that the oxygen is a scavenger, okay. The oxygen will not allow the ammonia to convert into what? The oxygen will not allow the ammonia to convert into nitrogen, okay. So the enzyme, that is the nitrogenase, is highly sensitive to the molecular oxygen, and it requires what? It requires an aerobic condition. It requires an aerobic condition. It does not require oxygen. So what happens? This leg hemoglobin, it does not allow the oxygen to bind, okay, to bind with the nodules, okay. So it ensures that the enzyme is protected from the oxygen. So it protects the enzyme from the oxygen. So the nodule contains oxygen scavenger called the leg hemoglobin. So basically what it does, it protects the enzyme, okay. It protects the enzyme from oxygen, okay. So yes, this is all about it, what you have learned in today's session. So in today's class, we have completed what? We have completed your chapter number 12, and here we have learned today is the nitrogen cycle and the biological nitrogen fixation. So I hope you have understood what is discussed in today's session. So if you like this video, do like it and also share it with your friends. So in my next class, I will be starting your chapter number 13. So till then, take care and bye-bye.